Hey there, fellow adult collectors, welcome back. David Eon here with another treat for you MEZCO collectors. If you're into the MEZCO 112 collective, I have a lot of MEZCO 112 figures. I am a fan of the 112 line. In this gigantic box, because this is a rather large box actually for MEZCO, is the Nosferatu. I did manage to get my hands on a MEZCO Nosferatu figure, which I've already gone and started peeling into this, so I'm going to take things out and show them to you as I go here. And you see that's my P.O. box. And I was a little bit concerned because some people have already doing reviews on these. I'm like, where are you getting them from? Well, it's because FedEx temporarily lost my package. So I had to find him. I had to track this down, and there's a bunch of things in this box because it's like a bundle deal. First of all, you get a t-shirt, Nosferatu t-shirt, which came in a variety of sizes, and you had to request your size. There is this Silent Screamers Series 1 Nosferatu 1922, which of course is the year that the silent film came out, and in here is a 0.7 millimeter thick cell is what it's called, and it's not an original cell. It's made to look like one basically, and I do believe that's even the figure recreating a scene from the silent film. And you get this, which is essentially a case. It's bigger than a lunchbox, but a case that contains the figure and his accessories, and you get a little Metzit. I got a little gold one there of Gomez carrying a boombox, because I went ahead and I already opened that. That was thrown into my package as a bonus, which you usually get that when you order directly from MEZCO. So let's go ahead and get into this. 20-year anniversary for MEZCO, as you can see there. But this arrived in really good shape. There's no dents to the pail, if you will. Lithograph goes from side to side. That part is upside down. Nothing on the bottom. Same lithograph on both sides. So not too much detail there, but still it's a nice little tin. We'll go ahead and open this up. Nosferatu 1922. One of the few silent films that still holds up, because it's an acquired taste to get into silent films. A lot of people don't like them, obviously, because they're silent. There's your MEZCO 112 warning. Please be careful if you break it, too bad. And this is very deep. This goes all the way down because he has a lot of interesting accessories. And I guess he's in here this way. Just let you take a look at that real quick before I open him up. But there are a handful of silent films that still stand up. And Nosferatu is one of them. I think I may have to just dump this whole thing out. Nosferatu really holds up as a film that, even though it's silent, nowadays you would still be interested in watching it. Here's his sarcophagus. He's got his base and his stand and the lid to his coffin, which is very detailed. And then the actual coffin itself, coffin sarcophagus, you get the idea. And this is actually kind of heavy. And then over here we have the Nosferatu figure. I'm really glad that I was able to get this, because I'm feeling like this is one of those ones. I'm hopeful that they just knocked out of the park. It was like last year, of all the MEZCO 112 figures that they made, the one that everybody was really excited about, best figure probably for MEZCO in 2019. And you know, you may have an opinion on this yourself. Tell me if you think I'm right. If you're a MEZCO 112 collector, Popeye. Popeye was probably the best, if not one of the best figures that they made in 2019. And a lot of MEZCO collectors were really looking forward to this, thinking, you know what, I bet you this is going to be another one like Popeye, a figure that's just really well done and really cool to mess around with. So let's go ahead and cut away, and we'll get him out of there and stand everything up and take a look at the accessories and then test his articulation. And away we go. We've got Nosferatu unpackaged here, and we've got all of his accessories out. We'll go ahead and zoom in and take a closer look at the figure. The head is very well sculpted. And I do like the clothing. I like it better when this kind of loose fitting clothing. His jacket is loose fitting. Anyways, he's wearing tights though, it looks like, leggings. But I like it better when this loose fitting clothing because I think it just works better on the figure when his clothing is loose fitting. There's less of a chance of like transferring dye from the clothing onto the figure and so on. Some people have asked me, have I seen Nosferatu? Yes, I have. As I pointed out, it's an excellent silent film. It's one of the few silent films that still holds up. And then I asked them if they've seen the remake. And they say, there was a remake to this film? Yes, there was, in 1979. It's called Nosferatu the Vampire. So if you look up Nosferatu the Vampire, you'll find it. It was a German film. So it is in German. However, there is an English dubbed version. And it is every bit as creepily done as the original, since Nosferatu is a traditional vampire as opposed to the Hollywood style vampire that you're all accustomed to. Traditionally speaking, this is what a vampire is. More like a rat than a bat. And his teeth, more like you see that his fangs, he doesn't have fangs, he has elongated, oops, got a little out of focus there, elongated incisors in his mouth, like beaver teeth that are sharpened, not fangs. Much more creepy than a traditional vampire, if we're being honest. Let's take a look at the accessories. You see the stand there, and again, I don't know about this one, because I've been praising MEZCO recently. They've been doing better with the stands, with the foot peg sticking in the stand. This one feels a little bit loose, because traditionally that's been a problem. Well, his left foot's doing a little bit better on the peg than the right foot for some reason. But pointing out again that traditionally the peg is usually a problem with MEZCO figures, but recently they've been doing a lot better, is what I'm trying to say. And his right foot didn't work too well, but his left foot seems to be holding a lot more tightly. He's got a little bag here, and inside this bag, oh, it's taped shut, is a set of keys. If I can get them out. There we go. There's his set of keys. They're skeleton keys, and they are plastic. This is very light and delicate feeling. But he's got a set of keys here. He's got a bunch of rats, and Nosferatu is closely associated with rats in both films. The second film, there's a million of them. And I like that every rat is individually sculpted. There are no two rats the same here. They're all different, and I really like that. Gives some variety to it. You see them all there. This one's even kind of a different color. It's a lighter brown. So that's very cool. A lantern. Little bit of a lost opportunity here. I think that they could have done it on the hook came out. It's not broken, it just came undone. There we go. A little bit of a lost opportunity. I think they could have made it that this lantern lights up. They've done it with like Michael Myers' pumpkin and other small objects. They could have made this lantern light up, and they did not. This does not open. There's no way to light this up. his like sleeping cap, if you will. It looks like an old style bedtime cap that's just really worn out. 1/12 bag. The posing arm in case he's playing basketball, I guess. You can jump 10 feet in the air. And then probably one of the coolest accessories that MEZCO's ever done, a sarcophagus. He has a coffin, and this is a heavy piece. This is not light. A coffin with a lid, and you open the lid up, and it's full of dirt and filth and rats crawling around. That is a lot of really cool detail. This is probably, like I said, one of the best accessories that MEZCO's ever made. I'm really digging this coffin. That is great. That is a really cool accessory, and it's well sculpted all the way around. Just this weathered, beaten to death crate that he hides in during the day. Awesome. You get 2 additional portraits, 2 other heads. You got one here with his mouth closed, very similar to the head that is on the figure now, except that you cannot really see his teeth, just barely. That's the primary difference. And then hungry time. Time to eat head. His mouth is open and you can see all of his teeth, the veins popping in his head. A lot of great sculpting detail on this portrait. They did a great job. Skin texture all the way around. I really appreciate that. He's even, I don't know how well you can see it, but he's even got nostrils even though his lip is curled up. So the sculptor who worked on this made it a labor of love. A couple of like reaching, clutching hands. This feels to me a little fragile. I'd be kind of nervous. The fingers are rubbery, but I'd be kind of nervous about accidentally breaking one of these nails. He's got one hell of a manicure going here. A lot of detail on the hands. You can see the veins and differences in skin tone and things like that. A sort of a clutching hand, if you will. Clutching hands. Maybe he can hold one of the rats. I know he has the lantern and the keys, so he's got to be able to hold them. Again, I'm a little concerned doing hand changes. Although, again, that's something that they have improved recently. The pegs have gotten a little larger, I think, on the hands. So change-outs have been a little better. Let's go ahead and get him off of there and test his articulation. And here we go. Nosferatu. Good side-to-side tilt. There's a lot of side-to-side tilt, actually. I'm surprised. Because he's got a hunched back. Upward motion, not much. He can look way down, but up only to a forward position, not to actually look up so much. Why don't we change a head out now while we've got him in our hands. That comes off very easily. And we'll put the closed mouth head on. No problem. Very easy transition. Shoulders. Shoulder articulation. The jacket bunches quite a bit. So, I mean, his arms can come up, but you got to kind of work it around. Biceps. Look at those long, skinny arms, sculpted all the way up. Biceps. Single joint at the elbow. So he's going to stop right there, unfortunately. I was hoping for double jointing, but that's okay. Most people would prefer double jointing, I believe. Wrist articulation. It's pretty good. Nice and fluid. We'll try changing a hand out. As I've said, you know, it's gotten a lot easier with these larger joints because that's been a problem in the past. Fairly easy hand transition. Look at the veins in his arm. A lot of detail. side to side. He can turn side to side. Seems to favor, let me see, seem to favor his right side more so than his left, but I've got it, and that makes for an interesting turn right there. And if you hear scraping, that's Kitty at the door. Because he interfered with the last video. He got right in the camera. Forward ab crunch, only about that much, but you know, it's enough to give this kind of looming look, so it works. Back, he's only going to go so far back, and that's probably because of the hump in his back. Side to side twist is pretty decent. Splits for when he does ballet. He's wearing the tights. A couple of the underside of the buttons there, because these are like, they're plastic, they feel plastic, but the buckles are exposed and textured. Forward and backward, limited back motion, but really good forward leg motion, as you can see there. So he can punt. Double jointed knee for if he's gonna do some Muay Thai. And do be careful with thin legs on double jointed knees with MEZCOs. Unfortunately, there have been issues with that in the past, particularly with female figures. Hip rotation. Rotation at the ankle, but not in the calf. Fairly decent forward and backward foot motion, but not side to side. And of course the tight goes all the way down into the joint. His tights rather go all the way down into his joint. So there are a few limitations, but he's mostly fluid. Overall, I'm satisfied with the articulation. Let's go ahead and get him into some kind of a fearsome pose and bring him down to the museum and add him to the rest of the 1/12 collective lineup. And here we are back down in the Open by Chance toy museum, mostly vintage, some modern, a little bit of everything. And here we are at the MEZCO 1/12 collective section. And where is Nosferatu? Where is Nosferatu? Well, he's right down here. Ran out of space for him in the regular area. Been having to move things around recently, and I think I'm going to need more room for the MEZCOs because I have quite a bit, it seems. I was able to work him into somewhat of a rather dynamic or fearsome pose there. I like that. There were some limited articulation problems. Of course, like I said, he cannot look straight up. He does not have double jointed elbows, so on and so forth, but he still poses very well. I went with the opened mouth look for him, put his cap on. It does not appear to be a magnetic cap, just a regular cap that sits there. The Popeye had a magnetic cap, which I thought was rather impressive for the figure because it made it so that you could do a lot with him. Actually continued to run into problems with the foot peg. His ankles cannot support his weight. He's kind of leaning on the wall actually, because without it he'll fall right over. His ankles cannot support the weight of the figure on the peg. Still really loving this coffin. Again, one of the best accessories that MEZCO has made, I believe. Overall, I do like the figure. I'm glad I was able to get him. He is sold out so far as I know. I mean, you can go on and request, because there are still a couple of openings. They're actually technically 6 listings for this because they're listing it by t-shirt size. So if anybody cancels their order, you might be able to still pick one up, but for all intents and purposes, he's sold out. Were you able to get one, or is this a figure that you're interested in? I know it's already up on the aftermarket. I know they're up on eBay. I'm not sure what they're going for. I'm sure it's probably quite a bit, because that's just how eBay goes. Let me know what you think of this figure. I hope you were able to get one if you're into this, if you're into the MEZCO. And I hope that if you were not able to, that if you are interested in him, if this review helped to make a decision for you, either for or against. Let me know in the comment section down below. But I hope you enjoyed seeing this. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. Check out our other videos. I do a lot of unboxing videos, a lot of MEZCO 112 Collective. I do some other types of figures, as you see there, 6th scale, that I do unboxings of, and showcases of vintage figures, which I do not open. I don't like opening vintage figures. I'm against that personally. And we do weekly roundups. We do a lot of things on this channel, a lot of different nostalgia related things, and I think you'd really enjoy it if you got involved. So what more can I say but thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.